Alright, we're back, and Oleksandr Usyk versus Deontay Wilder seems to be as close as we can get to officially confirmed. It's slated to be a record-breaking night of boxing with a new promotion from the States. Let's talk about it. So this new promotion, IVB Boxing, recently had a press conference where they didn't announce the fight, but they announced that they're going to be holding a record-breaking night of boxing in San Francisco, and it's being streamed on YouTube. Now, the situation with this press conference is a little bit odd, to be honest. I don't think they live streamed it anywhere. They've just been posting highlights of it on Instagram after the fact. But from a press release that I got, here are the details. IVB Boxing are holding this massive event in San Francisco, and it seems that they want it to be some sort of Glastonbury or Coachella in the States, where they've got music, they've got food, they've got lots of activities, but they also have boxing. And while they haven't officially announced it, many outlets have stated that this fight looks to be Oleksandr Usyk versus Deontay Wilder. And that kind of checks out with rumours circulating last month that Oleksandr Usyk signed with an American promoter. Editor Benny here. I somehow forgot to mention the fact that it also coincides with the last couple months of Oleksandr Usyk going on public press interviews and calling out Deontay Wilder. Yeah, he's been doing that quite a bit. So, I guess that's why the fight is happening as well. So yes, during this festival type event, they want to break the boxing attendance record, which is previously 135,000. So it seems like they're going to try and push 150,000 people into one venue for this fight. And to do that, it sounds like they're going to be putting a lot of these tickets on for free, with a large emphasis on their website and on their press release and the press conference being that they're bringing boxing back to the public. So I guess the only way that they'd be able to profit from this is from pay-per-view sales and maybe from taking a cut of revenue from food trucks and activities at the event. So it's a very intriguing premise, and for a first event for a new promotion, it's brave. But obviously the people running this promotion aren't going to have zero experience in boxing, especially if they're doing something as ambitious as this. Which is why they brought in Ed Pereira as the man behind this. So who is this guy? Well, if you look at the last major boxing event he did, it has that scope and ambition, but it didn't quite go how people wanted it to. And that event is the Ring Magazine Times Square event from last year. So as soon as I heard that, alarm bells started going in my head. I'm thinking, right, the big problem with that Times Square event is that only 200 people could actually see the ring, and the rest of the thousands of people in attendance had to watch it from outside on a screen, as the ring had massive walls surrounding it. Which prompts me to now worry that this San Francisco event is going to let people enter for free, but if they want to watch the fights, they are going to have to pay extra money to have access to the walled off venue where they can actually watch the fights. So they can technically break the world record by having 150,000 people at the festival with only 20,000 watching the fight. Now, we have not had confirmation that this is not the case, but I'm crossing my fingers that it is not. Not because I have any plans of going to San Francisco, but I think competition in boxing, especially with massive budget events like this, is very, very good. I'm loving what Turkey and the Saudis are doing with Riyadh season and the Ring Magazine, but these are the only proper major players in boxing right now on that scale. So if IVB Boxing can bring YouTube into boxing and put on a massive event that's successful and makes a ton of money and is the beginning of something big and a good rivalry between these two promotions, then we as fans will win. So I am very, very intrigued to see if this fight actually happens and how this build-up looks. So now, let's talk about this supposed Usyk versus Wilder matchup. The first and probably most important question: do I think this is a competitive fight? No. No, I don't. Oleksandr Usyk has been cutting through the best of the best like a hot knife through butter. There's 2 wins against Joshua, 2 wins against Dubois, 2 wins against Fury. Now he's fighting Deontay Wilder, who Tyson Fury beat twice, arguably 3 times, and the last fight against Fury was 5 years ago now. Deontay Wilder has lost 4 of his last 6 fights. He's in his 40s now, out of his prime, and his last win was against some guy in a not very impressive 7th round TKO. The heavyweight division now understands that Wilder is a bit of a one-trick pony. The blueprint has been laid out multiple times to beat him, and the fighters who have recently beat Deontay Wilder have been a reasonable step down from the current champion Oleksandr Usyk. So in my honest opinion, I don't think there's any sort of reasonable chance that Deontay Wilder will win this fight. However, this is the heavyweight division. He is one of the most devastating punchers to ever be in the heavyweight division. So I would never, ever, in good conscience, fully rule out Deontay Wilder. Oleksandr Usyk will most likely be flawless for all the rounds that it takes to dispatch of Deontay Wilder. But Deontay Wilder only really needs to be perfect for 1 second. We've seen Deontay Wilder in the past be far down on the scorecards and just land one shot that ends the entire match. All he needs is that one moment where he can line up that straight right hand that goes through the jaw of Oleksandr Usyk, and we've got a new unified heavyweight champion in front of a record audience. With that being said, I think the chances of that are so slim that this is pretty much a gimme fight for Oleksandr Usyk. So you may be wondering, if I don't think that this fight has any real chance of going Deontay Wilder's way, why is it happening? Why are they putting it on? And the main reason is because Oleksandr Usyk wants it. And the reason he seems to want it is for legacy. He wants to be known as the guy who beat all the biggest names and the most skilled fighters in this generation of heavyweight boxing. And as much as people think Wilder is a one-trick pony, or that he's out of his prime, he was the WBC heavyweight world champion, and he had a lot of defenses of that title. He's one of the most notable heavyweights of this generation in terms of fame and in terms of knockout power and selling value. And if anyone in the heavyweight division deserves a bit of an easy fight after all they've been through, it's Oleksandr Usyk. So in all honesty, I'm not really that mad at this. It will be a good spectacle. It will break a world record, and it will be the rise of a new promotional player in boxing, as well as bringing YouTube to boxing, which will be absolutely huge. And if they sell the pay-per-view for a good price, I think this could be massive. If I had to give a very early prediction for this fight, I know it's not even been officially announced yet, but it's looking like it's going to happen. If I had to give that early prediction, I would say Oleksandr Usyk will probably finish Deontay Wilder within 3 or 4 rounds. I think the combinations will be too much. Wilder will panic, he'll shell up, and the ref will step in. But as this fight gets announced and the build-up starts to happen, my opinion could change. So more content on the channel around this fight will be coming. So those are my thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. And if you want to stay tuned, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and you know what, give this video a like as well. It's always helpful and I really appreciate it. So that's all for today. In a bit.